Boom, shaka, laka, boom. You've tuned in to the free-range human show of choice, your daily dose of reality radio. This is the Clay Edwards Show. I am, of course, Clay Edwards. We are live on 103.9 FM WYAB. We're streaming worldwide at WYAB.com as well as the TuneIn app and Alexa. Just search WYAB. I'm trying something new this morning. I am back trying to stream live on Facebook. So I drug my iPad in here, drug an external microphone in here, and got it tuned up on the Save JXN Facebook page. This is a work in progress, as always, when it comes to technical stuff out here. So if you want to tune in on the social media, see what's going on at inside WYAB, just go to my Facebook page at Save JXN. It's facebook.com/SaveJXN. It just says Clay Edwards, but the Save JXN will get you there. You'll see the shirt I'm wearing. It is the FAFO shirt. You can buy that shirt at my website, buyfafo.com. Tank tops, caps, and flags will be back in stock today. You're going to be out on the reservoir. You're going to be upriver. Let folks know you're flying the Mississippi MAGA, the FAFO. And maybe you'll meet a friend. Maybe you'll meet somebody who wants to punch you in the face. But I doubt it. Upriver, bunch of light-minded individuals out on the reservoir. We seem to do well with that audience. I think you'll be just fine. Heck, maybe somebody will buy you a beer. Some chick will give you a kiss. You just never know. Just never know. Hope everybody's having a good morning. Be sure to tune in 6A to 7A every morning. Check out Matthew Bishop, the full story. He just walked out of here. Great guy. Nice to have him back in Mississippi. And the Guns and Gear text line, 769-241-1944. 769-241-1944. The Mazda of Jackson phone line, 601-879-0002, if you want to call in to the show this morning. Let's start here. All gas, no brakes. It's what we do around here. This story yesterday, ironically, this story had actually been out for a couple of days, and because nobody follows the Democrat Party of Mississippi, nobody saw it. Fortunately, somebody sent it to me, and she said, hey, I don't know if you've seen this yet, or you've probably seen this. And I was like, no, actually, I have not seen this. Here is a press release from the Mississippi Democrat Party. Guys, they are boycotting the state fair. What will we ever do? What will we do with the Democrats boycotting the state fair? I'll tell you what we'll do. We're probably going to go now with the Democrats boycotting the state fair. But here's the official press release by the Democrats. Yeah. All right, sorry. I'm getting old. I got to make it big so I can read it. It says, the Mississippi Democratic Party strongly, well, you know, when they use that word strongly, it's about to be bad, strongly condemns the recent rally held at the Ag Museum where hundreds of Mississippians, myself included, along with numerous state leaders, gathered to show support for former President Donald Trump. This event, hosted and funded by, see, that's the key word there, funded by, Ag Commissioner Andy Gibson's campaign, not by the Ag Commission, it's by Andy Gibson's campaign, comes in the wake of Trump's conviction on 34 felony counts of falsifying business records to cover up a payment to adult film star Stormy Daniels before the 2016 election. That is the most copy and paste sentence in the history of the internet, and it's only been valid for about 2 weeks now. Quote, the hypocrisy in this is so rich, by the way. It says, quote, it is deeply concerning and frankly alarming to see our state leaders, including Attorney General Lynn Fitch and Governor Tate Reeves, supporting a convicted felon, said Taylor, chair of the Mississippi Democrat Party. Their actions reflect a blatant disregard for the rule of law and the principles of justice that our country was founded upon. I've told y'all the irony here is so rich. The Mississippi Democratic Party, that's the joke. That's it. That's the joke. The Mississippi Democratic Party believes that this rally is not just a show of support for Trump, but a dangerous endorsement of criminal behavior and corruption. The message it sends to the people of Mississippi and the nation is that our leadership prioritizes party loyalty over ethical governance and integrity. Is this the same people that literally took a knee and bowed down to St. George Floyd, a convicted felon who put a gun to a pregnant woman's belly, that told us we all had to change the way we've run life because some felon, some crackhead, got himself suicided by the cops, that burned down the whole country for racial justice? These people are talking to us about ethics and corruption. The same party, the same Democrat Party of Mississippi that is about to have not one, not two, not three, but four elected politicians in Hinds County and or Jackson, allegedly, air quotes in the studio, be charged with multiple federal felonies, allegedly. They're going to talk to us about supporting a felon? I don't think the Republican Party has any felons currently in office. Well, I mean, don't get me wrong. Up in D.C., the Uniparty, the left and the right, they're all a bunch of felons as far as I'm concerned. They just ain't been charged yet. Continuing on. In the light of the event, we are calling for a boycott of the upcoming Mississippi State Fair, an event associated with the Ag Commissioner's office. By boycotting the state fair, we aim to send a clear message to the citizens of Mississippi that we will not support or tolerate the actions of leaders who stand with convicted criminals. The Democrats aren't coming. It's safe to go to the fair again. Woo! I ain't been in years. I mean, I know Andy really hunkered down on security after the Crawfish Bowl massacre. You know, another event that had the Democrats just boycotted that would still be happening to this very day. If one of their little young Talibanian members hadn't decided to go do a mass shooting and ended up getting himself splattered on the concrete, the Crawfish Bowl would still be going on. But no, couldn't boycott that one. So let's continue on here. It says, we urge all Mississippians who value justice, integrity, and the rule of law to join us in this boycott together. We can make our voices heard and demand that our leaders uphold the highest ethical standards. The time for action is now, Taylor added. We must take a stand against those who would undermine our democracy, and the values we hold dear. So I text this to Andy Gibson, and I just said, man, I wish they had started boycotting back at the Crawfish Bowl. And Andy did send me an official response. Let me pull that up real quick for you, just to be 100% transparent. This is the official response from Commissioner Andy Gibson. The Mississippi Democrat Party's statement and boycott of our state fair is about as ridiculous as the charges brought against Donald Trump in New York City. I invite everyone to come enjoy the Mississippi State Fair Friday, October 3rd through 13th. Let's take a call on the Mazda of Jackson phone line this morning. Let me get it tuned up here. Hey, good morning.
Hey, Clay, it's Joe. What's going on?
Hey, brother. How you doing?
Oh, man, doing all right. Just wanted to call and give my my kudos to the commissioner. This has got to be about the best marketing campaign for the Mississippi State Fair in history.
100% the best marketing. They don't need to don't spend no money on advertising. The Democrats said they're not coming, so now everybody can come safely. I may even leave my gun in the car.
Exactly.
Yeah, no, look, I mean, I saw you.
That was great.
You want to talk about backfiring I mean, this party and these people have zero self-awareness. I mean, it literally, and not just the ones in Mississippi and Jackson. I mean, you see it nationally as well. It's lack of self-awareness on a level probably unseen in recorded history.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I thought it was hilarious that, we're boycotting the Mississippi State Fair, but we're going to really do some financial damage and send a message. You do it quite the opposite. But anyway, man, I'll let you have it. I just, that got me tickled this morning.
Appreciate it, brother. Have a blessed one. Thank you. Yeah, great call there. I mean, now look, this thing ain't it's not till October. We're going to mark this. I'm going to set a reminder in my phone to rehash this leading into the fair. Because I want to remind Democrats, you got to stay true to the cause. You got to. You need to fight this fight. You need to see it all the way through. See it all the way through. Don't back down. Let Andy Gibson and the corrupt Republicans that support Donald Trump know you mean business. Let them know that your integrity comes above and beyond anything. The Mississippi Today, not Mississippi Today. Yeah, Mississippi Today. I get them all confused. They got an article here. The headline reads, "A successful boycott could have a large financial impact for Jackson and the state. The capital's largest annual event last year drew more than 500,000 attendees." I mean, look, I'm just telling you, if the Democrats really boycott this thing, there'll be zero crime, even around it. More people, I bet you 100,000 more people come this year than last year if the Democrats avoid this thing. Let's click on the Mississippi Today article. This is on X. Again, we are streaming live on my Facebook channel this morning. If you want to check that out, watch a little video, hit that share button, hit that like button if you're streaming this on the Facebook channel. A little bit goes a long way. Let's help grow this thing and make it the biggest show in the state of Mississippi. Here is I'm just going to read a little bit from this here. I'm not trying to read a whole lot of Mississippi Today stuff unless it's Jerry Mitchell. It says the Mississippi Democrat Party on Monday called for a boycott of this year's state fair after State Ag Commissioner Andy Gibson held a support rally for former President Donald Trump last week. This event, hosted and funded by Ag Commissioner Andy Gibson's campaign, comes on the wake of Trump's conviction of 34 felonies for falsifying business records to cover up the payment to adult film star Stormy Daniels. They just copy and paste that same line over and over and over and over before the 2016 election. A Democrat Party press release on Monday said the Mississippi Democrat Party believes that this rally is not just a show of support for Trump, but a dangerous endorsement of criminal behavior and corruption. The audacity of Democrats to talk about, what was the word they used? A dangerous endorsement of criminal behavior and corruption. The Democrats that run the deadliest cities in America. The Democrats who want to take good God-fearing people's guns, but call it racism if you stop one of their little Talibanian members walking down the street with an AK-47 or an AR-15 and ask them, hey, what you doing? You hunting in the middle of Jackson? They want to danger. This is too stupid to be stupid. Continuing on. Gibson responded to the call for the boycott in a statement on Monday. I just read that to you. Republican Gibson, who oversees the fair and state fairgrounds, called the New York trial and jury of conviction of Trump a rigged and politically motivated witch hunt. He's 100% correct. If you think it's anything other than that, you're not going to like this radio show. If you're new here and you think that the New York trial was anything other than politically motivated witch hunt, apolitically motivated witch hunt, you're an idiot. And you're not going to have a good time here. I'm just going to tell you, this show ain't going to be for you. You're welcome to stay, but you're going to stay in a bad mood most of the time if you do. The 165th Mississippi State Fair is scheduled for October 3rd through 13th. A successful boycott could have a large financial impact for Jackson and the state. And that goes back to that goes back to this whole point. They will cut their nose off to spite their faces so quick, they won't know what hit them. One of the few events that all of Mississippi attempts to come together for and dump money into the community, they want to hinder. Now, I will tell you this, as a former business owner, nightclub owner, restaurant owner in downtown Jackson, the fair really doesn't bring any money to the city of Jackson. Maybe some hotels, some gas stations make a little money. It murders the restaurant and the entertainment business. It is horrible for those businesses, your hospitality type businesses, your service industries. Terrible. I mean, you could, if you were in the nightclub business, you could close the 2 weeks during the fair, at least before the Democrats have completely kind of taken it over. And normal folks didn't want to go no more because it got dangerous. And I'm not sure now. I hadn't had a club in 10 or 12 years, but a little longer than that. But back then, back in the 20 knots, it was really, really bad for business. All right, let's take our first break. Again, we're streaming live on Facebook. Guys, if you're looking for somewhere to eat breakfast this morning, Burgers, Blues, Barbecue, Flowood, Mississippi, serving breakfast to 10:30. They even got that third shift happy hour. You're getting off at the hospitals or wherever you may be working overnight. Want to have a drink on the way to the house? Stop by. They got $4 mimosas, $4 Bloody Marys, and $1 off draft beer. And, of course, they got breakfast. Get some chicken and waffles and a draft beer. That sounds phenomenal for breakfast. I wish I wasn't. I wish I worked the overnight shift right now so I could justify chicken, waffles, and a cold beer for breakfast. And, of course, don't forget they got multiple food trucks for all of your catering, special event needs. And this Wednesday night, Burgers, Blues, Barbecue, downtown Brandon. It's the Cordless Corner. The finals were last week. The Stephen Brothers won, but all the groups are coming back to do a full band live concert, stage, and everything. It's going to be free of charge. Starts at 7 p.m. downtown Brandon. We'll be right back on The Clay Edwards Show. Welcome back into The Clay Edwards Show. We are live here on WYAB. We're streaming worldwide at WYAB.com and on Facebook this morning at SaveJXN. Working through a few little technicalities there. Maybe we got the volume working a little bit better now for you guys. Guys, Mazda of Jackson. Are you in the market for a new vehicle? Get by. Check out the CX-90. It is luxury redefined for your midsize crossover SUVs. Also, did you know that Mazda Jackson is locally owned and locally operated? And I mean locally operated to the point that the owners sit on the sales desk and work the deals for you. When you make your purchase, you get one of the car's phone numbers, and you can call them with any problems you may have, shoot them a text, whatever the case may be. And that is a great, great plug there. Let me just tell you. Also, every vehicle purchased at Mazda of Jackson comes with a lifetime powertrain warranty, as well as a free 43-inch TV. Check them out online, MazdaofJackson.com. Get over there, see my buddies Grady and Richard, and there's plenty of great sales guys there. Stop by, and girls. Stop by, see them, tell them Clay Edwards sent you. Located right there at Briarwood Drive on I-55 Frontage Road. You can't miss it. It's been there, been a dealership there forever. That's Mazda of Jackson. All right, so in the wake of, well, real quick, the phone line this morning, the Mazda of Jackson phone line is 601-879-0002. The Guns and Gear text line, 769-241-1944. In the wake of the Democrat Party of Mississippi announcing that they're boycotting the state fair, what are some other events that we wish the Democrats would boycott around here? Like I said previously, I wish they had boycotted the Crawfish Bowl. It would probably still be going on. So what? That's my question of the day. Shoot me a text, drop a comment in the Facebook feed here. What is another event the Democrats should, in fact, boycott? I'm going to say the elections. I think that's got to be the top one. We're going to have Democrats boycott elections. They've not been good at that. Their track record is very, very poor, and it's definitely time to boycott elections. And I think gas stations as well. If we could just maybe get one or two Democrat designated gas stations in Jackson where all the murder can happen, that would be okay too. Now, there's a rumor floating around the internet that they're talking about tearing the Metro Center down and building the world's largest Buc-ee's gas station there. And I was just thinking maybe we could just consolidate all the stupidity to one gas station, and Buc-ee's is big enough to handle all of the Jackson homicides. So just a thought. If they convert the Metro Center into a prison / Buc-ee's, it could be a kind of a one-stop shop. They could do their killing in the parking lot. They could have some kind of quick criminal justice system, maybe a little pop-up Hinds County Courthouse in there, and have a jail facility. I mean, just boom. Once you enter the property, you never leave it, either because you got killed or because you got prosecuted. I like it. One-stop shop. Let's see here. Looking on the Facebook feed, people are saying that the Facebook feed, the volume's low. Yeah, man, look, I don't know what to do about it. I do apologize. It is what it is. I'm experimenting with another mic right here, and I can't hold it to my face also. So Facebook feed might not work until we get a camera on the computer here in the studio, which, of course, I have been efforting for a while. So, you got 30,000 followers on Facebook. Hate to not stream to y'all. Lindsay on Facebook says legislative session. Amadeus Wolf says, make Ellis Avenue great again. That's Bobby Rush Boulevard. Ellis Avenue will never be great again, but neither will Bobby Rush Boulevard. That has been given to the Democrats. That is the deadliest corner in the state of Mississippi, hands down, no questions asked. Ellis Avenue / Bobby Rush Boulevard. Let's read some text on the Guns and Gear text line. Let's see here. Unknown texture says, throwing money at a rotten culture. Oh, so that's an old text. It said it would be nice to get Jubilee Jam back. Never happening. Never happening. There will never be another major music festival inside the city limits of Jackson. Ever. Period. You may have little pop-up stuff, but there will never be another major music festival inside the city limits of Jackson unless somehow or another the Ag Commission gets involved and they do something like the Miller Lite Crawfish Bowl on the fairgrounds. But if you're depending on a major promoter to have to come in here and grease the wheels that is Jackson politics to get streets shut down and a major music festival booked again, these folks don't do logistics well. They will have it so screwed up you won't be able to see straight. They don't know how to close streets anymore. They can't even make the red lights work. And you want another Jubilee Jam? I'm not talking about this texture here. I'm sure he's a great individual. Just in general. That would be a disaster. Let's see here. More text on the Guns and Gear text line. Things Democrats need to boycott. They need to boycott buying illegal guns. I think they need to boycott buying legal guns too. They're not proven to be much better gun owners than the illegal ones. Let's see here. Hey Clay, my name is Scott. Who do you know somebody that can cut trees down? I live in Brandon. I'll send you a name. And, of course, then it says, don't need to mention that on air. Well, it's too late. I don't pre-read these texts, by the way. If you send me anything, the first 3 words need to be, don't read on air if you don't want me to read on air. Let's see here. Unknown texter. The fair does the same thing to the automotive repair industry. People will forego fixing their vehicles just to go to the silly fair. Dealers weren't so greedy, they'd probably close. Hey, you got to pay the bills, man. Let's take a call here on the Mazda of Jackson phone line. Hey, good morning. You're on there.
Hey, Clay, this is Corinthian.
Hey, brother, what's going on?
A quick one right here. Let them boycott state-funded schools. Maybe Jackson Public Schools could have a turnaround.
That is a great one. Boycotting Jackson Public Schools would be a massive upgrade if the Democrats would just...
Since we boycotting the state, let them boycott Jackson Public Schools there, since it's heavily state-funded. Boycott that, and maybe we could get our classrooms back in and proper learning and getting the classroom agenda, the curriculum back on track, and we can compete with schools like Clinton Public Schools.
Agreed. I tell you what, one of the biggest mistakes that they've ever made in this city was fighting against the state taking over the Jackson Public Schools. That was a bunch of greedy bureaucrats that knew they were going to be without a job, and they sacrificed these kids' well-being and the future of our city for their greasy pocketbooks. And, of course, they played the racism game, but they were the real racists by the damage they did to an entire generation plus of kids.
Yeah, and another one. Please boycott the highways around Jackson. Maybe our highways and the expressways would be safer.
Yeah, I just think they need to boycott leaving the house.
Yeah, well, I don't want to start too much rookie this morning. You know, I got a repetition to build up. I hope you have a good morning.
Hey, you too, Corinthian. Thanks as always for calling in and for listening.
All
right. That is your mayoral candidate, Corinthian Sanders, right there. Rock solid dude. Got a good chance of being your next mayor. I think the two favorites for mayor of Jackson are Corinthian and Kim Wade. Because I think Chokwe's going to be predisposed. That's just my personal opinion. I think Chokwe's going to be predisposed. But hey, I'll say this because I call balls and strikes. If Chokwe gets in trouble, like rumors have it, and he is facing a felony or he's a convicted felon by the time the 2025 election rolls around, I don't know if you can be a felon and run for mayor. You know, I'm not sure, but let's just for the sake of it, if you can run for president, you should be able to run for mayor as a felon. Let's just say he is. If Jacksonians want to vote for a felon, then so be it. Vote for him. I would honor that. That would make for 4 more years of great radio around here. I mean, I guess I'm kind of like CNN without Trump. I really need Antar in office. Keep my ratings up. You know, if Antar goes away and we actually get a good mayor in there, I'm about to find something else to talk about. Nah, just kidding. Democrats are always going to do bad stuff. It don't matter who the mayor is. Let's take a break. We'll be right back on the Clay Edwards Show here on WYAB. Welcome back into the Clay Edwards Show. We're here on WYAB. I want to thank everybody that tuned in on the Facebook stream there. It's a work in progress, trying to figure out how to make that the product I want it to be, because like if people call in, you can't really hear that. It's got to really all run through the soundboard to be done right. And I just can be honest, I don't like half-assing anything. Excuse my language. And if it can't be right, I don't want to do it at all. Like, it's got to be perfect. And they say the perfect, great is the enemy of good. I don't necessarily buy into that. I think if you can be great, you be great. If you can't be, well, then, you know, good will suffice if good is your best. And that wasn't my best, so we're not going to do that. This segment brought to you by Jackson Tattoo and Soul Festival. This weekend, going on down on the fairgrounds there at the Trademark Center. So, I mean, I don't even have to explain to you how safe and secure that's going to be. So if worrying about Jackson shenanigans was preventing you from wanting to go down and check out one of the biggest tattoo festivals in the South, don't let it. It's at the fairgrounds. Commissioner Gibson has successfully made the fair safe again. He successfully made the Dixie National Rodeo safe, the Killebrew Rodeo, the fairgrounds in general, him and his team. And I can't think of a better place to go to, a safer place to go to for an event in the entire state of Mississippi than the fairgrounds. And once you leave there, you're on your own. But all joking aside, get down there this weekend, man. Check out the Jackson Tattoo Soul Festival. Get you a tattoo from one of the best artists in the Southeast. They'll all be set up there. There'll be vendors, live music, and more. It's this Friday. No, it's this the 14th through 16th. So that's Friday, Saturday, and Sunday right there at the Trademark Center. I'm sitting here looking at their Facebook page. You can check it out, facebook.com/Jackson Tattoo. That's JXN, Tattoo Soul Fest. And, man, see some of the great stuff, some of the great artists that are going to be down there. I'm really looking forward to getting down there and just walking around and just kind of soaking it all in. There's going to be plenty of great vendors, food, like I said, live entertainment, and more. Let's take a call on the Mazda of Jackson phone line this morning. Hey, good morning. You're on there.
Hey, how you doing, man? Hey, I just got a question for you. I don't know if it's true or not. I seen something the other day that was talking about where Beyonce paying off one of our Supreme Court justices.
Beyonce's paying off one of our Supreme Court justices?
Yeah, have you seen that?
I hadn't. I missed that. What would she be paying them off to do?
The hell I don't know, man, to be honest with you. But I seen it. They were talking about she had paid that Kehlani lady something like $300,000 or something. I don't know if it was fake or, Well, so I was just kind of curious if you had heard something about it or if it's something you could maybe look into that,
Yeah, I will
talk about.
I'll do a search here during the next break, see if I can find anything. Actually, I do plan on talking about the Supreme Court stuff this morning, and then constantly trying to push Alito out and force him to recuse himself from some cases. But yeah, we're going to talk about some Supreme Court this morning, so we'll check into that too.
Okay, cool, man. Appreciate you.
Thanks, brother. Appreciate you listening. Yeah, no, I haven't heard about that. I'm going to be honest with y'all. Well, I'm always honest with y'all. What's going on in Jackson right now with the anticipation of these FBI, of these federal indictments allegedly getting ready to come down on these free the land nut jobs? It's made it hard for me to concentrate on anything else. Like, I waffle back and forth a lot. Like, do I want this show to be about national stuff? And just say, screw Jackson, I've had enough of it. Not my circus anymore. I just can't do it. Like the second something Jackson related happens, man, I am back here like a junkie. Just put it in my veins. I mean, don't get me wrong. I keep up with everything going on nationally from a 30,000 foot view. But guys like Jameson and Kim Wade, they're covering the national stuff, and Kim's really good at local too. But Jameson and Kim really, really anchor down on kind of what's going on nationally. Did I hear yesterday? I saw something this morning, and I tried to listen to it. Was our Jameson Haygood on the Alex Jones show yesterday? I was trying to fast forward through it this morning as I was getting ready, and I noticed that Colonel Gannon Burton was on there for a good 30 minutes, and I actually wanted to listen to his whole interview, and I'm guessing maybe Jameson came on after that. At least the guy that shared the link said WYAB's Jameson Haygood on Alex Jones. So I'm like, what? It was a 2-hour video on Rumble, so I'm trying to, like I said, skip through it. I didn't get to the Jameson part, and I hadn't had a chance to text him yet this morning. But if anybody can confirm that, Jameson, if you're listening, were you on Alex Jones yesterday? Can I get an autograph? I do have pictures of me and you. I may want one autographed. Real talk. Doing big things around here, man. That's awesome. That's awesome. Maybe Alex is going to be looking for a job. Matt, you think we could give Alex Jones a job here at WYAB? Give him the overnights. I'd love to have somebody live and local after 6 p.m. when Kim Wade gets off. Maybe we could replace that whole day block of those national guys with Alex Jones. 4 hours of Alex Jones from noon to from 11 to 2, 11 to 4, noon to 4, something like that. Anyway, I digress. Let's see here. Let's read a few of your texts. Tim says, I'm working on the same thing at church. Think I found a camera that hooks to soundboard and streams to all platforms, testing it this week. I'll let you know. Yeah, Tim, I've got that at the house. I got a camera that I actually bought for the studio, but something was up with the studio computer and it's blocking the feed from the camera. We tried for 4 days to make it work. And I have a website I use called Restream. Some people use StreamYard, and it'll cast to every platform at one time. and then it'll all run through the board, and you can hear everything. It's what I use to make my videos at the house, where I run the other videos and stuff from WLBT and all that, and Twitter and everywhere through it. So I have the technology. I know how to do it. It's just figuring out how to do it here. And it has been a challenge. You know, we got a total of 250,000 followers across all the different platforms that I would love to have the opportunity to stream to and really take this thing to the next level. But hey, we'll get there. We'll get there. I wasn't always ready for prime time, but I feel like I am now. Yeah, that's a lot of people to throw your product in front of at one time. You know, not to mention the huge FM radio signal we have here pumping out to over 1 million people in this marketplace. So, or however many people live here. I would say we have 1 million people in our footprint. Obviously, I'm not saying they all listen, but most of them do. Anyway, let's see here. Oh, yeah, I wanted to read some of your texts. Come up in hour 2. I promise I'm going to do more than just read text. We've got some secret recordings of Judge Alito and his wife. They think they got him. Oh, we got him. He's a Christian. She's a conservative. We got him. Oh, you got what? I like him even more now. Man, Miss Alito is based. Based. She does not care. She calls them feminazis. Love it. Yeah, we're going to talk about that. There's some video that has surfaced of Nancy Pelosi taking responsibility for the January 6th riots. And now she's trying to kind of put it back in the bottle and claim it's all revisionist history. Also, a big story that we were a part of kind of helping get the word out early on over the weekend is this Cleveland, Mississippi golf tournament that didn't allow the girl to enter. And now the internet is big mad. Big mad. I made a video about it. And I said, I know it ain't going to be a popular decision, but I leaned with the golf tournament, with the country club on it. I'm okay with them not letting her play. Was it handled poorly? Yeah. Anyway, we'll get to that and more. Let's take a break. We'll be right back on the Clay Edwards Show. The first hour with some of your text messages here. Hey, real quick, man, we're having a big fundraiser. Well, it's not really me. I mean, I'm helping, but some other folks, some good folks have put together a great fundraiser for one of my dear friends, Mr. Rob Plafkin. It's going to be Sunday, June 23rd. That's next weekend out there at the Dockery Grill in Byram. You may know Rob. He's one of the members, the lead singer of the band Charade. Him and Daryl Arnold, Dirty D, have been performing in some version of Charade or another, going all the way back to the mid-'80s right here in central Mississippi. Rob is a bit of a living legend. I just don't know any other way to say it in the local music scene and as a human being. And he's battling some cancer, and he needs our help. And we'll be out there trying to raise as much money as possible. Let's see here. It's going to be a poker run, live music, and more. There's going to be shirts available. I'm going to bring some of my shirts out there, sell them, and donate the profits to him as well. That's going to be next Sunday, June 23rd, Dockery Grill. It's a fundraiser and poker run for Rob Plafkin. So just mark your calendars. When this is all fun and games, until one of our own need us, and that's when we got to rally together and really, do what we can. I was going to read text messages, and I read that one, and it ate up all my time. But hey, if there was ever a good cause to eat up some time, that was it. Coming back, man, we got a whole nother hour to go this morning here on the Clay Edwards Show. We're going to kick it off with the Cleveland Miss Golf Tournament fiasco. We'll be right back on WYAB. Good folks, man. Like I said, good folks. Let's jump in, man. As previously mentioned, we are streaming live on Instagram. We are here on WYAB. I want to jump into Jackson, Mississippi. I know I said we were going to start with the golf tournament. I changed my mind when I decided to stream on Instagram because a lot of the people on Instagram are a bunch of young Taliban insurgents, and I want them to hear this. And the only reason they're awake right now is because they ain't been to sleep yet. So I know their nerves are probably a little frazzled. So I want to bungee jump off the last one and talk about the fact that Jackson had not one, not two, but 3 homicides. Not one, not two, but 3 homicides in less than 24 hours over the weekend to bring the running total of murders in Jacktown up to 55 for the year of 2024. You know, I've never really spent a lot of money advertising this show on other platforms. I'll buy some Facebook ads and Twitter ads every now and then to promote a video or something that I think I want to get some traction. I actually reached out to WLBT last night, and because I always look at their murder tracker. It's the WLBT murder tracker, homicide tracker as they call it. I was like, I really feel like that should be sponsored by the Clay Edwards Show. I mean, I've made so much money talking about it and using it over the last 3 to 5 years. Like, I just feel like I should sponsor it. It's probably kind of a hard sell to most other sponsors other than, say, a funeral home. But I think it would be a great fit for me and my platform. So I reached out to a salesperson over there. I'm waiting to hear back. I should probably be able to get it pretty cheap because, like I said, previously mentioned, it is probably going to be a hard sell. But I think Jackson Murder Tracker brought to you by the Clay Edwards Show. It just got a ring to it. Anyway, so 3 homicides in less than 24 hours. Let me click on my article here over at WLBT.com. One of these had, it's the one over in South Jackson. Let's see here. 2nd Lakewood Drive. Yeah, it's the one on Lakewood Drive. Had over, at one point, the sheriff said 3,200 rounds of ammunition. I think he got the address confused. It was in the 3,200 block of Lakewood. He later came back and said over 180 rounds, shell casings found on the ground there at the Lakewood location of the homicide. Then that's over in South Jackson, by the way. I'm almost convinced that was the Taliban, the Jacktown rainbow supremacy Taliban that's been running around terrorizing the streets in South Jackson. They were driving a GMC, a late model GMC, I would say 2010, 2012 and up, that body style. Kind of that weird bluish gray color vehicle, truck they have that they use that color on so many times without the passenger side front fender. It should not be a hard truck to find. I also assume it is very well stolen like every other vehicle in Jackson. That was the 2nd homicide. The first one of the weekend happened over on Marine Street. This is actually out in like that Northwest Drive area out by Chastain Middle School, I believe, if I'm looking at the map correctly. Kind of like between Northside Drive and North State Street back over that way. And, of course, it's one of the Kia boys. The Kia boys. Man, I tell you, you could be a lot of things in life. You could be an astronaut. You can be a future rocket scientist, an engineer. You can be a lot of things if you put your mind to it. A Kia boy is not anything that I want to be. I just don't want to do it. I know it's Pride Month and all that stuff, but I just can't get fully in the spirit of it. I'm not going to be a Kia boy. Hey, speaking of Pride Month, before I forget, tomorrow here on the Clay Edwards Show, of course, Sean Yerkron will be here. And we're going to have Chris Barnett with Gays Against Groomers on the show with us. I'm super stoked about having Gays Against Groomers, such a huge national platform, going to be right here on the Clay Edwards Show tomorrow for pretty much the whole show from like 7:20 on, for as long as we have stuff to talk about. So really excited to have that conversation. But going back to the triple homicide over the 24-hour time period in Jacktown, the first one, again, happened over on Marine Drive. This happened in Jackson on Sunday. And all these happened on Sunday, by the way. This wasn't Saturday night. This was Sunday. Sunday is a Sunday fun day in Jackson, has a whole new meaning, has a whole different meaning, should I say. The victim's name was Davion Miles. He was taken to the hospital, but of course pronounced dead upon getting there. Detectives obtained images of the suspect's vehicle, which is described as a gray, small four-door sedan. Again, it is a Kia, and it's silver, not gray. There is a difference. And of course, the second one was the one over there on Lakewood Drive in South Jackson with 180 rounds of fully automatic ammunition. The third, another South Jackson homicide. Oh, I'm sorry. I got my vehicles mixed up. The second one, the one on Lakewood Drive, it was two vehicles. It was a white Ford Fusion and a pewter Nissan Altima. So the third one here, this one happened Monday morning, technically. A 32-year-old man was shot and killed while sitting in his car at an intersection at Jackson Monday morning. According to Jackson police, the shooting happened on McClure Road. Man, McClure Road, that is getting so close to my parents' house. McClure Road was such a nice area. I remember going to the Spur gas station there at the corner of McClure and Forest Hill for years. It's where you could always buy the cheap beer. And they always had just beer stacked to the ceiling. It was like a Southern beverage sub warehouse. They had so much beer there. And then the man built the one out in Byram and then Spur. Of course, he's retired from that business now. A good old guy, man. I can't remember his name, but I always liked doing business with that guy. So anyway, McClure Road used to be a nice area. Now, of course, it's just ripe and ate up with Democrat death culture like the rest of the city. But this is the one where they pulled up on the guy at an intersection. I mean, keep in mind, McClure Road used to kind of be like the country. They just got too close to Jackson. Just like Byram's done got too close to Jackson. South Jackson done moved. It's moving south. It's like a cancer. It's just eating everything it touches. The guy just minding his own business at an intersection. A group of Taliban thugs, terrorists, insurgents, future rocket scientists, engineers, and possibly even an astronaut or two roll up on him and just unload. Kill him there in his car on McClure Road. And that's right down from Hillcrest. There ain't a whole lot on McClure Road. Forest Hill Ballparks, Hillcrest, Lakewood Cemetery, and a couple houses. It's not a wildly populated area. And they're out here just unloading on people at red lights. I mean, what is wrong with y'all? Instagram, I'm talking to y'all. What is up with your conflict resolution skills? Why do you go straight to kill? Have you ever thought about, I don't know, talking it out? Sitting down with Dr. Phil? Y'all go straight to cash me outside. You got problems. You even know who your dad is? Anyway, let's read some text on the Guns and Gear text line. Let's see here. Takes a second for this to load. Said, dude, watching the haters melt down in real time on your Instagram stream is gold. Yeah, I thought it would be. I wish I could see the comments. And unfortunately, you can't go back and watch the live streams afterwards. But I mean, these are the people that are the majority of the people commenting on my Instagram right now at SaveJXN. If y'all want to see, if y'all want to put a face to the problems of Jackson, to the little Taliban thugs that are terrorizing the city of Jackson, and to the people that enable them, just go to my Instagram and look in the comments, and you will see everybody that is a part of the problem. A lot of the times when we call these people out, when we get a photo of somebody that the police are looking for, their egos are so out of control that they even comment under their post. It's happened multiple times. I mean, if I was a good policeman doing my due diligence, I would just go to my Instagram and look in the comments. You could do some proactive policing right there. I ain't saying, I'm just saying. I am followed by some absolute trash on Instagram. And some great people too, by the way. Some great people too. Let's see here. Ty says on the Guns and Gear text line, 95% of the Instagram comments are Jacksonians making threats like normal Jacksonians. Yeah, you know, it's always funny. They get mad at me for talking about their violent tendencies, their knack for killing one another. And they get mad at me for doing that while also threatening me for doing it. It's like you're doing the thing that I'm talking about. You're doing the thing. Now, I don't know now, guys, y'all had to bear with me. I know this is probably not the most compelling radio, so because I'm kind of talking to the internet here. Jacksonians on Instagram right now. I don't know if y'all saw the memo yesterday or not, but your leaders at the Democrat Party of Mississippi are boycotting the fair. That's right. They're boycotting the state fair. Y'all do everything else the Democrats say do and don't do. So you got to stand strong on this. You got to boycott the fair, which is great for all of us because we don't want to be around you. It's going to be safe. It's going to be clean. I ain't got to see anybody's rear end because your pants are sagging down past your butt. I ain't going to have to see a bunch of beached whales wearing clothes tighter than they should be. It's going to be a fabulous fair. I am absolutely 100% looking forward to it this year. I just wanted to make sure y'all got the memo because I got way more followers than the Democrat Party does. So I just want to make sure that we help spread their word and that y'all understand you're boycotting the fair this year. All right. That was fun. Let's take a break, come back, get back into some more serious stuff here. I want to talk about the golf tournament up in Cleveland and the Judge Alito's secret recordings. This is the Clay Edwards Show on 103.9 FM WYAB. Go give me a follow on Instagram and enjoy the crap show at SaveJXN. Breaking rules when necessary. I think we just broke a lot of rules in that last segment. Their hair is on fire. And in fact, you can go back and watch that and read the comments. Instagram has apparently had an update since the last time I went live. I just shared the post there on my Instagram page. So go enjoy that. They are mad at me right now. Good. Those are the people I never want on my side. If they're not mad at me, I've been compromised. I will never be their ally. They will never be mine. They are the enemy. They are the people that are destroying the once great city known as Jackson, Mississippi. And when they grow up, they turn into free the land nut jobs like the regime that's currently running Jackson. If they grow up. And by grow up, I mean if they survive their environment that they've created for themselves. Absolute insanity. And these are the people that Chokwe Antar Lumumba and the Democrat Party, locally, statewide, and nationally, continue to pander to and call you all racist bigots if you dare challenge any of their bad behavior. You're just supposed to say, oh, gosh, Clay, it's poverty. Poverty caused that. You can't talk about that. And poverty's caused because of white supremacy, Jim Crow, racisms. You're not allowed to just say, no, you know what, man, I know plenty of poor white trash. I know plenty of poor white trash that live in trailers, prefab houses that are 100 years old, on welfare, white welfare queens, all that. But I never see them on the news for 3 drive-by killings in 24 hours. I see generational poverty all through rural Mississippi. But they're not on the news constantly for pretending that life is a Grand Theft Auto 5 video game. That is a culture issue. That is not a poverty issue. If you can afford a car and a $300 pair of Jordans and the gold and all the jewelry these folks wear, you're not in poverty. You're poor, but you're not in poverty. There's a huge difference. There's a huge difference. And they shout you down and call you every ist and phobe and bigot in the book if you try to acknowledge and point out what's going on around here. It just makes no sense to me. at all. I could rant about this the whole rest of the show. We're gonna move on. Hard shift of gears here. It ain't easy sometimes. Over the weekend, there was a golf tournament that ended up getting a lot of attention. I made a video about it the night I heard about it and just gave my straight up opinion on the thing. Up in Cleveland, Mississippi. I'm waiting on this. We got 12 seconds here on this video. I'm going to let WLBT tell you the synopsis of it because I don't want to read the whole article and bore you all to death with my terrible public reading. But the synopsis is this family had been playing this golf tournament for years. This dad and he had a partner that played with him they were Delta State grads. I guess there's a big tournament up there in Cleveland. And his partner couldn't make it to the tournament. So he's like, oh, it'd be cool to have my daughter fill in, which I think all that's great. I have a problem with none of this, honestly. But a couple of days before, they realize it's a girl playing, and they're like, hey, son, no, this is a men's only tournament. They're like, oh, it don't say men's nowhere. But you've been playing in this tournament for 10, 12, 20 years, whatever it is. You know you've never seen a girl play. So you would just think common courtesy, you would maybe reach out and say, hey, my daughter's going to fill in. Is that cool? I mean, I kind of know how it works up here. I'm a Delta State grad. But no, that's not how this went. Here's how it went. Let's pull the story up here. And I know people are big mad, and I'm a girl dad. I'm supposed to be big mad too. But I can't get fake outraged about this.
Cleveland, Mississippi woman now wants answers. She claims that the Cleveland Country Club told her that she couldn't play with her father in an annual golf tournament because she's a woman. Our Chris Fields has been following this developing story.
Lauren Gross says she's been waiting for months to play in the 2024 four-ball golf tournament with her dad. 24 hours before she and her father were set to tee off for a practice round, she claimed her father received a call saying she could not play because she's a female.
Getting that response was really frustrating, especially when I agreed that I wasn't expecting any special treatment as a female.
Lauren Gross is still trying to wrap her head around the fact that she was denied competing in the game of golf because of her gender. Gross says it's a tournament her family has participated in for many years. Because her father's regular partner couldn't make the tournament this year, he asked her to fill in. But after signing up, her name stood out to those over the registration process.
My dad gets a call and the pro asked him, hey, is your daughter's name is Lauren? Is that a girl? And he said yes. And they were like, well, we aren't going to allow her to play because she's a girl.
This one, Gross, reached back out to those at the golf course to get more clarity on the news she had just heard.
We really didn't get much other than just kind of, well, we know we didn't really brand it as a man's tournament, but for the 40 plus years we've been putting it on, it really just, it's been that way. So we just decided we're going to keep it that way. And I mean, we've never really had the issue of women wanting to play before, so we didn't feel like we needed to clarify it or specify it as a men's tournament.
Exactly. Common sense.
So, I mean, this is the first time we've ever had that issue, and we just decided we don't really want to open that can of worms.
Gross says during registration, there weren't any rules made noticeable to her that women couldn't play in the tournament. Without anything in writing backing up the club's decision to not allow Gross to play in the tournament, she took the issue to social media.
One thing that I would like to be known is that I'm okay that I didn't get to play in the golf tournament. Like, it's not the end of the world for me. I think just the principle of the situation and speaking up is more so to try to keep these things from happening in the future for women too.
Now, 3 on Your Side reached out to the Cleveland Country Club Sunday morning for a comment or interview about these claims, but have yet to hear back. Now, we also tried to call a member who sits on the board there, but could not get him on the phone.
Okay, first off, it was her mother. That was the girl. It was her mother who made the Facebook post and kind of showed her butt about it. Now, she was polite, but she definitely made it very much about her. And we got to quit compromising. Let's take a call. Well, my person hung up. Call back on the Mazda Jackson phone line, 601-879-0002. I mean, look, did the country club handle it wrong? Probably. I think there's a lot of blame to go around on this thing. And I don't want to make this a trans issue because this isn't a trans issue that we've been dealing with. But here's the problem we have. At some point, you have to draw a hard line in the sand. If you've already watched my video, you know what I'm about to say here. You have to draw a hard line in the sand, and you have to say, men play men's sports, women play women's sports. And that's it. You know, if we're going to keep crazy men from pretending to be women out of women's sports, we need to keep women out of men's sports. And just common sense, people. Now, she wasn't asking for any special treatment. She was going to tee off from the men's tees, the whole 9 yards. I commend her for that. I'm really not trying to attack these people because everything I've read about them, they're good church-going, God-fearing folks. I just think that they got the feelings a little hurt here, and they've made something really big out of a nothing sandwich. Let's take a call on the Mazda Jackson phone line. Hey, good morning. You're on there.
What's up, Clay? It's Elrod. Sorry I had a bad connection last time. I had to hang up the call back.
All good, brother.
I'm against all this, gender swapping in sports. As a general rule, professional sports, something that's stated, it's there. This is the rules. It's established. This is just it's a local club. I know they take it personally. They think it's the biggest golf tournament in the world, but it's not. It's a local deal. There's nothing stating that it's a men's tournament. Nothing. I think this is the whole thing that is the pinnacle of it. There was nothing forbidding. Oh yeah, nobody asked us before, so we just assumed everybody knew. No, never assume everybody knows something because someone doesn't. You're always going to find that person that doesn't know that it's a men's only tournament. All these years, hey, why not try it? But on the other hand, they should have said, hey, my daughter's going to fill in. Is that possible? And then they could have conquered it from there. No, you can't do it this year. Let's change the rules next year so you can play. That's the way they should have handled it.
Yeah, I agree, and that's right. And that's why I wanted to make sure I was real clear on my end that I think mistakes were made on both sides here. I think the country club handled it poorly, but I don't think they're wrong either.
Well, I'm kind of sad about it because I would have liked to see that girl play with her dad.
Sure.
I would have seen them, like to see them go up there and sweep everybody.
Well, but here's the thing, and now you may very well have had plans to go up there and be a part of this because I know you've worked at golf courses and stuff, but we wouldn't even have known about this if this story hadn't have blown up. You know what I'm saying? So there would have been no going up there to see her and her dad play if this hadn't have been turned into what it got turned into.
I didn't even know there was a golf tournament up there, so now I know. Hey, maybe it's a PR stunt. It worked.
no doubt. So, I mean, look, I just think that here's the thing, man. I've never looked at the rules to play in the NFL, but I'm guessing that it may not say men only because it's assumed it's men only.
That's an established sport. The NFL, National Football League, is a men's only league. They hint with putting women in there, but the first hit a woman takes as a punter or something like that, because there are men out there that are going to lay one out for women's rights, they're feminists, true feminists. They're going to treat them just like they would men, and that'll be the end of it. But if they succeed, I'd like to see that happen. The unfairness to me is when someone who is so dominant physically, mentally, no, not mentally, we're big boys is what we are. We're children, big dumb animals. But if we're overpowering strength and speed, that's wrong. Now, if someone is like a Muggsy Bogues in NBA, I loved watching him because everybody took him for granted. But he did things with those giants out there in between those trees. If a woman could do that, I don't mind seeing it. But I just don't like a man going into the UFC and beating up on women. That's just a way to make him feel better about beating up on women. That's a trash man. But I like the underdog, the Rudy side of it, of someone who's not, this specific specimen of athletics that the men are. but they still win, I don't mind.
Yeah, I mean, no, I agree. I just don't think that's the case here. But appreciate you, brother.
Yeah, man.
All right, have a blessed one. All right, let's take one more call before we go to break. Hey, you're on there. You got about 30 seconds.
Good morning, Clay. This is Buddy. My feeling on this, he knew it was a men's-only tournament. Their sense of entitlement, they were going to slide their daughter in and vote. All a bunch of them sound like whiny babies to me.
Yeah, I agree with you 100% there. I think everybody came out of this looking worse than they went into it. There's no winner here.
But the golf course didn't do a thing wrong.
No, well, I think they probably should have been more clear, but I don't think they should have had to been either, so I think there's that. All right, brother. Appreciate you, buddy.
Take care.
Yeah, I'm going to come back and unpack this a little bit more. This is the Clay Edwards Show. We'll be right back on 103.9 FM, WYAB. Welcome back into the Clay Edwards Show. This segment brought to you by Pure Air Consultants. Ever wonder why your AC has stopped working? Yes, actually, every time it stops working, I immediately wonder why it stopped working. Like immediately, like, oh my God, I need air now. Why aren't you working? Yes, the common reasons for this issue include issues like a flipped switch, a dirty condenser, an improperly sized unit, an old unit, and a malfunctioning thermostat. For over 40 years, Pure Air Consultants has been delivering exceptional cooling systems to Central Mississippi, and they want to offer you a rare gift, a free labor warranty for 5 years. New construction builds, thermostat installations, and more. Financing is available. Pure Air Consultants also specializes in air duct cleaning, air duct scaling, and dry vent cleaning to make sure you breathe the air that is as fresh as possible. Check them out online today. MyPureAirConsultants.com. MyPureAirConsultants.com. Ream, a new degree of comfort. People are pretty polarized on this topic here. And look, man, like I said, I know I'm a girl dad. I'm supposed to just like, oh man, shucks. They screwed them out of their father-daughter golf tournament moment. Now, I'm sure there's some mixed sex type tournaments where fathers and daughters can play together, mothers and sons. I'm sure those exist. I mean, I don't play golf. I've actually never even been on a golf course, except not in my adult life anyway. My dad used to ride around on the golf cart with some of his buddies and hit balls. I wouldn't even call that playing golf. But I would drive the golf cart while they drank beer. Great influence, Dad. I've done that. I've driven the golf cart and drank beer. I mean, I would never drink and drive. I'd rode in a golf cart and drank beer. But, so, I don't even know what goes on golf tournament-wise. So I really don't want to speak for something I don't know. But I'm going to assume that there's unisex golf tournaments out there. They could have found one of those to play in. Let's read some of your text messages. Wild Bill says, it's a two-way street, Clay. Men in men's sports, women in women, period. That's how I feel about it, unless otherwise promoted. Yeah, like some people disagree with this, but there had never been a woman in this tournament. And you've played in this tournament allegedly for however many years. You even self-admittedly say you never saw a woman in this tournament. I mean, it would just be, if it's me, it's just a common sense thing. I'm just going to pick up, Eric said it a minute ago. I'm going to pick up the phone and I'm just going to say, hey, here's what I'm thinking, Bob. Lauren is going to be in town for the first summer in a while. She's a good golfer. My normal partner is going to be doing a wedding. What would y'all think about Lauren filling in? Would that be cool? I don't want to cause any trouble. I don't want to make a scene. I don't want to bring any negative attention to the tournament. They didn't do that. And I'm guessing somewhere along the lines, they sent in their paperwork a couple of days prior. The tournament's getting ready. They're going through the entry forms. They're getting all their paperwork and signs and whatever they got to put people's names on. their list and everything, the scoreboard. They're like, oh, wait, Lauren's a girl's name. Oh, what's going on here? This is a men's only tournament. We never advertised it as men's only. Again, handled wrong on both sides. But I don't think that means that the country club should bend the knee and let her play. Say, hey, sorry. We should have been more clear, but we're not going to bend the rules for you. Even if they weren't officially rules, the unwritten rules. Baseball's got a lot of unwritten rules. You know. So, anyway, let's continue reading. It's one of those things, like, I have to take a strong stance on abortion. And I hate to compare abortion to a golf tournament, but I'm just talking about drawing hard lines. Even when you can make a case sometimes, like you could really make it make sense. You could pull on my heartstrings. It's like, Clay, it's a 13-year-old girl that got raped by an illegal alien, and now she's pregnant. If there was ever a case for having an abortion, this would be it. I mean, you know, that's God's will. It's sad. It's terrible. And if it was my daughter, it would be a terrible situation to be in to have to make that decision. But you have to draw a hard line and say, I'm just against killing babies. I don't care what the situation is. Let's have the kid and let's consider adoption. Let's look at all the other options. I ain't living in the gray when it comes to certain things. That's how, as strong as I feel about that, that's how strong we're going to have to start feeling about mixed sex sports. If we don't want men with penises swimming in a pool with our daughters, changing in the locker rooms with our daughters, you have to draw the line somewhere. And if it's a golf tournament in Cleveland, Mississippi, where the line gets drawn, then so be it. It's got to start somewhere. I mean, probably the only person in the state that just somehow figured out a way to compare this to abortion. Yay me. Josh says if Paige Spiranek wanted to play, I bet they would have let her. The tournament would have been standing room only, and even non-golfers would be buying tickets. Well, yeah, I mean, and if my grandmother had a pee-pee, she'd be my grandfather. Paige Spiranek ain't playing in Cleveland. You know, and it would have been, they would have known more than 2 days before. And, you know, we're talking about a lot of things that aren't ever going to happen. This is what happened. Yeah, I mean, they'd be stupid not to let Paige Spiranek play. Just like I think the WNBA or the Mississippi national basketball team is not Mississippi, the United States, the Olympic basketball team is absolutely insane for not letting Caitlin Clark play. She's a draw. She's going to make all of them more famous by being on the team. But they're like, no, no white girls here. No straight white girls here. I mean, I understand it's a polarizing topic, and we all probably have a little different opinions on it. Would it have made a difference if she played? It wouldn't have made a nickel's worth of difference. They probably would have been way better off letting her play and this never becoming a topic. But people are extremely polarized about it. But I'm just going to tell you this. All these women I see out there raising 7 levels of hell about it mad, where would that energy be if it was a mother-daughter's tournament and somebody's mom wanted to let their son play with them? Would you have that same energy? I don't think you would. I think you'd be mad as hell. It ain't fair. Men are stronger. He's hitting off from the girls' tees. No, I just don't. I think you'd be mad. No, yeah, I hate it for the father-daughter. I mean, but I think it's her mom is the one that set this thing on fire. And I was reading some of the comments on Kingfish's blog last night under his post about it, and somebody that claims to know him says the family's kind of like a member of a church up there in North Mississippi in DeSoto County, and they're kind of like the elites of the area, and they're not used to not getting their way. and that the mom is like just really soaking all this in. Now, I don't know if that's true or not, but I find that interesting. Taylor texts in and says, we got to take a break. I can't read it right now. I'll read it on the other side of the break here. We'll be right back. Welcome back into the show. Let's close it out, read a couple of texts real quick here. Taylor says, heck yeah to the trans issue in sports. The left forces us to take hard line. The left forces us to take hardline far-right stances because they take far-left stances, forcing a standoff that never gets solved. Same with the Second Amendment. I'll write down guns and gear text line. No, this is fine, Taylor. Let's see here. By the way, Jason, my favorite Uber driver in the world, just had major hip replacement surgery. He's listening this morning. Brother, hope you were doing well. Chip Matthews up next. I will see y'all tomorrow.